Let me ask you a question. What do you truly want out of life? I'm sure you have dreams, goals that you envision for yourself, but maybe you don't pursue them, either because you become comfortable where you're at, or you are afraid of failing. Is your dream to retire your parents and travel the world? Or perhaps your dream, your goal is something bigger, something more grand, like becoming president of your country. Whatever it is, what's holding you back from chasing it? As kids, many of us had grand dreams growing up, visions of what we could become, of what we could achieve. You'd tell yourself that I will retire my parents, that I will become the best MMA fighter in the world, that I will become an astronaut. You spoke with conviction, but then reality sets in. Slowly your words shift from I will to I want. But when you say I want to become something, I want to achieve something, it sounds a bit softer. It leaves room for excuses, for doubt. And in that shift, something changes. The urgency fades and so do your dreams. We get scared of taking those first steps. And before we know it, we settle into our current circumstances, convincing ourselves that it's not the right time to act. Or worse, we lie to ourselves. We say just one more year and we'll start. That next year we'll chase our goals, make it happen, but that day never comes. We keep pushing it off year after year until our dreams fade into distant memories, buried deep down in the graveyard with us. I've been contemplating what's my destiny for the past couple of days, right? We only live once. What is it that I'm supposed to achieve in this life? Financially, I'm well off. I make tens of thousands of dollars a month. I'm in the 1% income bracket. I make more money than doctors. And since my business is online, I can live anywhere in the world. If I wanted to, tomorrow I can hop on a plane, go to Thailand, sip pina coladas, live by a beach, be a king over there. But for some reason, that's not calling me. Not interesting to me. For some reason, I want to continue pushing myself, right? Growing my business. And that's really confusing for me because I have to ask, when's enough for me, right? I'm living the dream many, right? People would love to be where I'm at. Also, why do I continue investing time, energy, money on videos for my YouTube channel when these videos only get a couple views? What is it I really want in this life? And like many people, I went on YouTube asking for questions, right? To like the meaning of life. At one point, will I be happy with life? When's enough money, right? When do I stop? There's a book that was recommended, I guess, for people in my type of scenario, right? People that are ambitious or but maybe don't know what they really want out of life. And that book is called The Alchemist. So in search for answers, I decided to read the book yesterday, okay? The Alchemist. And all I was for a treat, right? This is just what I needed. Right? Because for the longest, I was confused. My business is doing really good. I make tens of thousands of dollars a month. Why am I not satisfied? Why do I want to continue going for higher and higher levels? Why am I also trying to pursue a YouTube channel that's not taking off? I'm investing so much money, resources, and time for that. It's not working, right? What am I missing here? And this book really, I guess, connected the pieces together. And there's something called a personal legend, which I will reference throughout this video, which I got from that book. So for you guys that are a bit lost, maybe need a bit clarity, direction in your life, I truly recommend you this book. The main character of the book is called Santiago. He's a young and adventurous shepherd from Spain who is haunted by a recurring dream. He's basically a nomad, right? He has no home, right? He's caring for his flock of sheep, right? He's going where the grass is green, right? Wherever there's water and food for his sheep. And typically the place where he usually sleeps is by a ruined church. There's like a tree by that ruined church that says like home. And under that tree, every time he goes to sleep, he has this like recurring dream. And his dreams, a child appears, urging Santiago, the main character, to go to the pyramids in Egypt in search for a treasure. And this is the thing, although Santiago is adventurous, he's free, he likes to travel, meet new people, get to know places, Egypt is very far, extremely far from where he is. It's like a pipe dream wanting to, I guess, go over there and see if there's actually a treasure there, right? He's pretty content with this life as a shepherd in Spain. But for some reason, this dream that lies in Egypt, right, this treasure, it continues to gnaw him. He can't forget about it, right? It disturbs his comfortable life. Now, I don't want to spoil the book. Due to a series of mysterious encounters with interesting people, one being a king, he's convinced that he does have to go to Egypt. He feels like it's his destiny, right? That he's going to regret it for the rest of his life if he continues to be a shepherd, right? And he just discards this feeling of him having to go to Egypt and find this treasure, right? It's like his manifest destiny. He has to go over there. And he learns about something called a personal legend, which this king, right, this mysterious guy that he encountered in Spain tells him about, right? That this king appears to people just like Santiago. Just when they're about to like deviate from what they're supposed to realize in life, he comes right as a king and convinces them, dude, you have to go and pursue what you're supposed to pursue in this life. And going to Egypt, right, to find that treasure is your destiny. You have to go, brother. Now, don't get me wrong. Santiago isn't some maniac that's willing to, I guess, let go of all his sheep and start anew, right, in a new continent. Right? He's human just like us. He was feeling a lot of emotions, right, when this guide came out of nowhere to tell him that he has to go to Egypt, right, to realize his manifest destiny, his personal legend. There was a day or so that he was contemplating. He was scared because he was comfortable where he was at. He had tons of sheep. He was falling in love with this like local girl in one of the villages. All right, things were going well for him. Now, all of a sudden, he's told that he has to go to a distant land. Doesn't know anybody, doesn't know the language, doesn't even know if it's like a fantasy of there being like a treasure. So he's like us, right? He's confused, he's scared. All at the same time, he's excited, right? Because he's adventurous. He was supposed to be a priest. His fate growing up was being a priest. But he told his parents, no, I want to be free. I want to be like, live a life of adventure. And his parents told him, like, the only way to live a life of adventure is you got to be a shepherd. And he's like, okay, fuck it. We're even a shepherd. Right? That's how he became a shepherd. Now he was given the opportunity to go to a foreign land, right? It was scary and it was daunting, but at the same time, it was like exciting for him. I'm gonna go to this land, right? It's always been a dream to travel. And now this dream that came out of nowhere, it was like a sign of God. And we're gonna talk about that, right? Like signs of gods, right? That guide was like a force of nature. It was like God put him there. Because Santiago almost decided, you know what, screw Egypt. Screw Egypt. I'm happy here. But no, I guess like God put like this guide, this king, right, to push him to go to Egypt. So we're gonna talk about something called like a force of nature, like these good omens, right? These things that are driving you in the right direction, because it's very applicable after we finish, I guess, this segment of talking about the story. So eventually Santiago was like, okay, let's do it. Let's go to Egypt, right? Once he got to Africa, there was a lot of setbacks, right? I don't want to get into the nitty gritty, but there was tons and tons of setbacks, right? There was times where he almost gave up and he's like, you know what? Maybe Africa's not for me. Maybe this dream going to Egypt's not for me. I'll just save up enough money in Africa and go back on a ship to go back to Spain, right? But just as he's about to give up, I don't know if it's like a force of nature, God was continuing to guide him. He was eventually redirected back into, I guess, pursuing that dream of going to Egypt. It was almost as if someone was looking at him from above, and when they saw that Santiago was about to give up, right, on this distant pipe dream, right, they redirected him. It's like a crazy feeling, you can say, that Santiago was getting. And after a series of trials, he finally reaches Egypt and uncovers the blueprint to the treasures he sought. So there was a treasure, but I don't want to spoil it, where exactly the treasure was, but he does get to Egypt and he finds out, yeah, there is a treasure. Look, at its core, The Alchemist is about the tension in between staying in comfort and pursuing your personal legend of what you're supposed to do in this life, right? It was Santiago's destiny to go to Egypt and find that treasure. If he would have never gone to Egypt or, I guess, found that treasure, nothing bad would have happened to Santiago, right? But he would have grown old with a lot of regret, because going to Egypt is what was supposed to happen in his life, and he just deviated from what was supposed to happen. So when I finished the book The Alchemist, I still wasn't satisfied, right? Although it was a very entertaining story, Santiago went through all odds, setbacks, and finally achieved, I guess, what it is he was supposed to achieve in his life. But I still wasn't satisfied. Like, how is this applicable to me, right? Me, Raul Camarena. So I started contemplating a bit more. I read the book. I guess we looked at the words like deep down. Like, why is it that so many people like this book? Like, how is it applicable in my life? Or how can it change me? And then it just clicked. Forces of nature. Like Santiago, we also have someone from afar guiding us. And this is the thing, we don't realize this. They're hoping that we continue to go in the right direction of what we're supposed to do in this life, to go out and achieve our personal legend. I know this sounds a bit confusing, but hear me out. Let me ask you a question. What was your dream as a kid growing up? You might have wanted to become an astronaut. I don't know, maybe a teacher, a millionaire, a famous person, astronaut, whatever it is. Just think about what was your dream growing up. It's more than likely that you're already growing up and you probably haven't achieved that dream yet. There are forces of nature out there, omens, good omens, hoping that you realize your dream. Without you realizing it, we're driven in the right direction that's best suited to help and achieve our destiny. My dream growing up as a kid was becoming president of the United States. Now, I don't know how this dream came to be, but I would tell everybody I will become president of the United States one day, mark my words. But as I grew older, I started becoming fearful because of just how hard it is to become president of the United States. It went from I will become president to I want to become president to hopefully I become president to I don't know if it's for me. Now look, if I'm honest with you, my goal of becoming president of the United States, well, it never really went away, right? It's still there somewhere. Life has passed. Graduated high school, gone to college, I had run a successful marketing agency. Right, I live a pretty comfortable life, but every once in a while, right, those dormant thoughts of wanting to one day become president still come back to me. And it's starting to reflect, right after reading this book of The Alchemist, the area of forces of nature, right, and how the forces of nature guided Santiago to Egypt, right, of achieving his destiny. Right, just as he's about to give up with his dream, right, he's directed right back to the path of going to Egypt to get to that treasure. I just reflected Santiago's journey with my journey. Although I'm not on a straight trajectory to becoming president, everything I've done so far with my life satisfies the conditions to progress me forward and becoming president of the United States. Now, to give you a bit of context, my goal of becoming president of the United States really died down around the high school graduation mark. Right? Growing up, I told everybody, I want to be president, I want to be president, I want to be president. Even at my high school graduation party, I told everybody, I'm going to be president of the United States. But I guess after I graduated high school, when I made the transition from like a teen to an adult, I started becoming scared. I don't know what this fear came from. Maybe it was just the sobering reality of like, I'm not a kid no more, right? You gotta face big boy problems now. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Right? I think like many young men, right? I was lost spiritually, lost what I'm gonna do with I guess my career wise, right? I was gonna go to college, right? But I still didn't know what I wanted to study. So I was lost. I was completely lost. And in that, I also lost, I guess, the dream of becoming president, right? Because I was so preoccupied with the day-to-day life of becoming an adult. When I went to college, now that I think about it, like these forces of nature that are at work, I studied political science and business in college. Now I decided these two, I guess, career paths, this double major, political science and international business, was because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But I think the forces of nature where I played with like Santiago, right, guiding him to his destiny to go to Egypt. Likewise with me. If you think about it, political science, well, that is preparing me, right, in my dream of becoming president. Business, I gotta know how business works, right, in order to become president, right, being a minister of the economy of the USA. My career choices while in college satisfied the requirements to send me in the right direction to becoming president, right? Maybe at that point, I didn't think about it that way, but now that I'm looking at this from like outside point of view after reading this book, forces of nature are at play. I don't know if somebody from outside, from above was guiding me, right, while making that decision, but it just happened to be that I decided to study political science and business. Also, while in college, I decided to become a polyglot. I studied abroad. I studied in China. I studied in Paris. And during this time abroad, I studied a lot of languages. I became a polyglot. I decided to become a polyglot. I'm not gonna be honest, for like the most virtuous reasons. I wanted to pick up girls. It just made picking up girls easier. Went to the club. If I spoke their language, just made the process much easier. But now that I think about it, I think like something was at work here. The force of nature, like good omen. Just the act of me knowing many languages will make diplomacy much easier, right? And the language I'm most proud of is Mandarin Chinese. I guess our biggest competitor as an American right now, it's China, right? Economically, militarily, right? They're up and coming. Let's take, for example, my business model. Out of all the business models out there, right? There's drop shipping, Amazon FBA, right? I could have iPhone flipped. Whatever business it is, I could have chosen. I ended up choosing a marketing agency. But if you think about it, I've developed a lot of, I guess, valuable skills. Number one, marketing, right? Because I'm in charge of the marketing for many businesses, right? I understand the ins and outs of marketing. Another thing is soliciting attention, right? I run ads for my clients. I make sure that my ad is, I guess, able to like get people to stop scrolling and pay attention to whatever I'm offering in that ad and get people to click. So I had to master soliciting attention. As a president, you gotta be the best marketer in the world. You gotta convince people, right? Also an area of sales, but you gotta convince people that you exist, that you're a viable option for president. Soliciting attention, you gotta know how to get people's attention. There's like a saying in marketing that I always tell everybody, right? If you're loved, people talk good things about you, perfect. If people talk shit about you, they hate you, perfect. But if you're ignored, that's that place you don't wanna be. It just happened to be, I don't know if it was destiny, of all the freaking business models out there that ended up deciding on SMMA. I don't think it was a coincidence that I chose this business model. Something gave me a push to become an agency owner. For example, let's talk about money. I make tens of thousands of dollars a month, right? I make about $1,000 a day. Making that amount of money is life-changing, right? For a young man like me, I'm in the 1% of an age demographic. I'm probably in the 1% of the 1% worldwide as well. when it comes to like money wise, but for some reason, right, I'm still ambitious, right? I still have that drive, that hunger in me to want to continue growing my business to earn more money, right? This isn't enough for me. No, I don't know where this drive comes from, right? Because with the money I make and with the business model I have, if I wanted to, right, I don't have to be here in rural. I'm in Iowa, in a place called Iowa, Midwest USA. There's nothing going on here. It's super, super boring, right? I don't have to be here. If I wanted to with a business, I can be in Spain. I can be in freaking Thailand, sipping pina coladas in Phuket, right? With my business, I can be anywhere. I can be satisfied with what I'm making right now. I could take my freaking mom with me if I wanted to retire and have a beautiful life with me. But for some reason, I'm in the Midwest because I know in the Midwest, I'm locking in, right? Because there's no distractions. I got to continue working hard. But what is it that's really pushing me, right? That's something I was asking myself for many, many months, right? Growing my business. What is it that's pushing me? Well, to become president, you need a lot of money to be elected, right? The campaign process of becoming president isn't cheap. You need tons and tons of money. So maybe there's a force at play here that's pushing me, right? Something's pushing me deep down without me even realizing it. Let's talk about YouTube. I'm on my 4th YouTube channel. I built many YouTube channels throughout my life. All of them flopped, okay? Every time I build a new YouTube channel, I'm very enthusiastic, very excited. This is the channel, this is it. This is gonna help me reach stardom. And eventually it dies out, all right? Or I outgrow it because I become a more mature person. And every time a channel fails, I tell myself, no more channels. Okay, YouTube is not for me. YouTube's not for me, right? It isn't it for me in this life. But for some reason, I can't explain it. Something keeps pushing me with YouTube. All right, I've invested so much money now, so much time, because I have a full-time editor, full-time thumbnail guy, right? I'm not only investing time, but also money now with this channel. My videos are getting like 2, 3, 4, 5 views. I only have 79 subscribers after like 4 or 5 months of doing YouTube. Right? I invested thousands of dollars in YouTube mentors, thousands of dollars in courses, right, to grow a YouTube audience. It still isn't taking off, but for some reason, I just can't allow myself to stop with YouTube. Again, we go back to the same thing. Maybe it's a force of nature, right? Like an alchemist. Maybe something out there is guiding me, pushing me to not give up with YouTube. And if you think about it, right, to become president, I need a platform. I need an audience. YouTube can give me that platform and fame. The reason I wanted to make so much money, the reason I wanted to continue developing myself, build my YouTube channel, learn so many languages, study political science in college, it was so that I could fulfill my purpose, my destiny of becoming president of the United States. And this is the thing, I failed to see it sooner, but the path was always there. I just never realized it. Now I urge you to look closely at your life. Reflect on your goals, your dreams. You say that you want to become a millionaire, but is it really the money that you're after? Or is there something deeper? Something you can't quite put into words? Maybe what you really want in this life is to fulfill the dream that you had once as a kid. And there are forces at play, good omens, guiding you in that direction because it's your destiny. I want you to remember one key lesson from the alchemist on the forces of nature. Right? These mysterious forces, whether it's gods, I'm watching from afar, right? That the things that are guiding you in the right direction to help you realize your personal legend. If you ignore these signs and resist them too long, the universe will stop favoring you. Now, I don't want to spoil you too much of what happens in the book of The Alchemist, but there is a character called the Alchemist that also guides the main character, Santiago, right? And throughout his journey to Egypt, right, to realize his personal legend, there's many times that he's tempted to just forget about that dream altogether. For example, one location in one village, he falls in love with this beautiful woman. Right? He's tempted to just give up going to Egypt, stay with her, have a family. But the alchemist reminds him, yes, you might be favored by the gods right now. You might be blessed. But if you stray too far off from your vision, you go against the gods of what they wanted you to achieve in this life, you stop being favored. And then your life goes to shit, basically. My destiny is to become president. What about you?